you, Dolores. I heard that you're going to visit your parents' house soon. Apparently you're going to be there for a while. Could you tell me why?
Huh? Did I tell you about this already? Because I don't think I've told even Araldo or his father about this yet.
One of the mother-in-laws of your friend is my friend. I heard it from her. Don't tell me, but is this you preparing to get divorced with Araldo? Or are you just preparing to live separately with him?
No, it's neither of that. You see, I've been assigned to work at an office near my parents' house by my company. My parents' house was close by, so I thought I might as well just move in with them.
I see. So that's the reason. I thought you were getting divorced with Araldo. To think that I was so excited that I was going to finally be free from living in a multi-generational household.
Looks like you still hate me as usual, mother-in-law.
Of course I do. I mean, me and my husband would never have moved in with you two if my husband didn't suddenly get hip pains. Not only that, but I was making preparations for Araldo to marry a daughter of a friend of mine, but you appeared out of nowhere and married him.
I heard that Araldo only met this friend of yours after he graduated from college. But me and Araldo have been going out ever since we were in high school. What do you mean I came out of nowhere? If anything, this marriage proposal of yours is what came out of nowhere.
Shut up. All that matters is that Araldo wasn't supposed to marry you. That's the reason I don't like you, Dolores. And I'm the type of person who shows no mercy to anyone I don't like.
I see. Well, at least that makes dealing with you easier then. I also am the type of person who thinks that it isn't necessary to try to get along with someone you don't like.
Huh? What's with that attitude? You talk like you're my equal or something. You're not my equal, Dolores. I'm your mother-in-law, which means that you have to do what I say.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Maybe if you actually did anything helpful around the house, I would have believed you. But the truth is that you just lay around all day doing nothing. Seriously, not only do you not have a job, but you don't even do the housework. Anyways, it seems like this conversation isn't going to go anywhere. Which is why it's alright if we just end our conversation here, right? I already answered your questions, and talking to each other anymore would be a waste of time since we'd only annoy each other.
What do you mean, a waste of time? I told you not to take that attitude with me, didn't I? I'm still talking to you, so you can't just leave.
I'm currently in the process of packing my stuff, so goodbye.
Hi, Dolores. Can you talk right now? There's something I need to tell you.
Hi, Araldo. What's the matter?
You see, I think we have a bit of a troublesome situation on our hands.
What do you mean, a troublesome situation? Does this have something to do with your mother?
Yep. You see, I found out that she's been entering our side of the house when we were both outside.
What? Really?
Luckily, she wasn't able to enter your room since it was always locked, but she had the spare key to my room, so...
Well, it's not like I had anything to hide. I already moved all my valuable items and things I use for my work to my parents' house.
I see. Well, it's good if that's the case, but it seems that I was right when I decided to prepare for what might happen after you started working from home. I only recently found out that Mom was going in and out of our side of the house recently when I set up a camera, but judging by how she was moving around like she already knew the place completely, there's a high possibility that she's already done this several times before.
What? Really? Do you have any idea as to why she might be doing this?
I seriously have no idea. I checked the cameras and it doesn't really seem like she's stealing anything, so I don't know. Maybe she's just doing it to spy on us or something. The silver lining is that you already moved the stuff you use for work to your parents' house, so she wasn't able to mess with that.
I mean, I couldn't really work while I was constantly anxious as to whether your mom would enter my room or not. I remember how she always used to barge into my room whenever I forgot to lock it and would tell me to do the housework. I told her that I was working, but she just laughed at me and said that I was just looking at my computer all day and that there was no way that was going to make any money.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My mom still doesn't understand that in this day and age, people can work from home as long as they have an internet connection. Oh, there's one more important thing I need to tell you.
What is it?
Do you remember that my dad talked earlier about how the current multi-generational house we live in is getting quite old, and so either he would rebuild it or we would move?
Oh yeah, I heard that your grandfather was the one who built this house, and it hasn't been renewed ever since.
Yeah, some of the wood is starting to get old, and there's a risk that it could just collapse if a major earthquake were to occur. Anyways, my mom suddenly brought up this topic while you were gone.
Why? Wait, let me guess. Knowing your mother, it was probably something about you guys moving without me, right?
Yep, exactly. She said that we should make plans while Dolores isn't here and just quietly move out without telling her anything.
What? Your mom said that to you?
Yeah, she must think that her son and her husband would side with her no matter what or something. When in reality, me and Dad are almost at the end of our patience with her. Well, at least thanks to her trust of us, her secret plans are no longer a secret, though. Yeah, and there was something I wanted to ask your advice/permission for concerning the matter.
My advice/permission?
It's a bit too important to discuss by text, so could me and my dad come visit you at your parents' house this weekend? If possible, I want to talk to your parents about this as well. It's something really important that'll decide the future of our families.
Alright, I'll ask them if they're available right now. Hi, I'm back. They said that it's fine if you come on Saturday afternoon.
Hey, what time would be good for you guys? We can come whenever.
My mom said that the 5 of us should have lunch together at our house.
What? Really?
Yeah, my parents like you, so apparently you're always welcome here.
I see. I'm happy to hear that, I guess. Alright, I'll accept your mom's invitation. We'll be there around noon on Saturday.
Alright, we'll be waiting for you.
Yep. Tell your parents thanks for the invitation.
Okay. Oh, and Mom was asking what you guys wanted to eat for lunch.
Anything is fine, really, but if I had to choose something, then maybe pasta, I guess? Well, then, see you later.
Yep, see you later.
Hi, Dolores. Thanks for having us over today.
No problem. It was a pleasure. I was a bit surprised the way you had to tell us, but I see. If your father is under this much pressure, then it's probably best if we set this plan into motion as soon as possible, right? It's a miracle that he was able to hold out this long. Seriously, I didn't know that your mom was that much of a problem for you two.
Yeah, my dad is a really patient man, which is probably why he was able to put up with her for so long. He says that she wasn't like this when she was younger, but over the years she suddenly became more and more, well, you know. Anyway, I agree. We need to set this plan in motion as soon as possible. I mean, I can't stand my mom always bullying you for no reason as well. Seriously, you're the one who should be getting mad at her for making you do all the housework when you have work to do and she doesn't. Oh, and don't worry about me and Dad. We've already talked this through before, and that was the conclusion we came up with.
I understand. This is partly because you were thinking about what was best for me, right? Thanks for that.
Don't worry about it. Well, that's it, I guess. Me and Dad will do most of the work, so you won't have to do much, but I just want you to make sure that my mom doesn't find out about our plan.
Yep, understood.
Long time no see, Dolores. You see, I'm texting you today because I have good news.
Long time no see. Good news, huh?
Yup. Well, good news for me, at least. I guess this is going to be bad news for you, though.
Just what in the world are you talking about?
The demolition of the multi-generational house we've been living in until now starts today.
What? A demolition?
Yup. We waited for you to go to your parents' house and moved out as a family so we could demolish the house. Me, my husband, and my son, the three of us. It looks like using your work as an excuse to move to your parents' house and not coming home even once was a mistake.
Oh, is that so?
Yup. Even my husband and my son have run out of kindness for you because they did everything I told them to do and demolished the house and found a new place to live just like I told them to. Without any complaints as well. Of course, we're not going to be telling you our new address no matter what, so this means that you and Geraldo are going to get divorced.
Is that so? I understand. Goodbye then.
Yeah, bye. Still, I thought that you would have a bit more to say than just, is that so? Does that mean that you're fine with getting divorced with Geraldo? I mean, you have been living at your parents' house for the past few months, so I guess it was only a matter of time. I'll make sure to tell Geraldo about this. I feel so much better now that you're gone from my life. Finally, things are going to go back to the way things were.
Hi, Geraldo. I just got a text from your mother. I don't think I need to remind you, but don't believe her when she says I want to get a divorce with you.
Of course I won't. What did she say?
She told me that our old house was going to be demolished. I guess. Not only that, but she also talked about how you and your dad were on her side, and now how you guys wouldn't tell her our new address. Oh, and she said something about how you and me would have to get divorced now.
You say that so simply, but what I'm guessing is that Mom was a bit more dramatic when she told you this, right? Let me guess, she was probably acting as if she had won or something, right? I seriously don't know what's giving her the idea that we're on her side, though. Because it's not like me and Dad have been actively supporting her or anything. I mean, does she seriously think that me and Dad have just forgotten about all the shit she's done over the years?
That's what happens to people when they get overly narcissistic, I guess. They always think that they're always the one who's right. Do you want me to show you her text tomorrow when we meet?
Yeah. Dad says it's partly his fault for being too patient with her all these years. Because every time she messed up, all she would get was at most a scolding. Not only that, but not having to do anything all day, every day for the past 30 or so years probably has something to do with it. I mean, I remember that she stopped doing the housework and was making Dad do everything since I was in, middle school. Oh, sorry, that was completely unrelated to your question, I guess. Well, I'd appreciate it if you could show me those texts tomorrow.
Alright, I'm already at our new house, by the way. I'll start unpacking the stuff I already brought from the stuff that seemed necessary.
Sorry, I had to leave that to you. Alright then, looks like we're in the endgame. Me and Dad are gonna go and meet Mom and tell her the news.
Understood. Good luck.
This is terrible, Dolores. Dolores, answer my phone calls. Since when did you fool my husband and son into siding with you?
Wow, look at all these notifications.
You have to pay me alimony.
What? What's this suddenly about an alimony? Just because you were supposed to move with your family into a new house, but the destination instead happened to be your parents' house, doesn't mean you can get mad at me, you know.
Judging by your tone of voice, you knew about this, didn't you?
Well, yes. By the way, your husband divorced you, right? Or is it just that you weren't included when they said that you would be moving as a family? Or maybe your son Araldo officially cut ties with you and told you that he wouldn't tell you the new address, no matter what.
All of that just happened. Why do I have to be kicked out of the family like this? But it's you who should be kicked out of the family, no matter how you look at it.
It just means that you're the only one who thought that way.
Why?
I mean, for several reasons, probably. First of all, with Araldo. You tried to forcefully choose who he would marry, even though he already had a girlfriend. And when he did marry this girlfriend, you started bullying her just because I ruined your plans. And with your husband, you used up all of the inheritance his parents left for him in 2 years, even though it wasn't meant for you. And when he confronted you about this, not only did you show no sign of remorse, but you started using the money you two were saving up for retirement.
How do you know about all of that?
They told me? Not just that, but I heard from them about several other times you messed up. Be it large or small, but in my opinion, it's a miracle that your husband didn't divorce you sooner. Well, it probably has something to do with how your husband is such a patient man.
Dolores, stop talking so much and just tell me your new address. Oh, and convince my husband not to get divorced with me. And convince Araldo to not cut ties with me.
Oh? But I thought you hated me. And you're still going to make all these demands from me?
Now's not the time to talk about such unimportant things.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I won't be able to help you with any of your demands.
Why not?
Because just like how your husband and your son are on my side, I'm on your husband and your son's side as well.
Huh? Then just be on my side as well.
That's not how it works, mother-in-law. Well, it looks like there's no point in talking to you, so I'm going to leave now.
Huh?
Wasting each other's time is not going to benefit either of us, so goodbye.
Dolores? But this isn't a waste of time. This is an extremely important matter for me. Oh, I know. I'll accept you as a part of our family from now on, so help me. Why aren't you replying, Dolores? Dolores, I don't understand. Why did my husband and son suddenly turn on me? But up until now, they were always on my side. This is all your fault, Dolores. I know you did something to trick them into siding with you or something. I knew letting Araldo marry you was a bad idea from the start.
My mother-in-law was sent back to her hometown along with the stuff she thought she was going to bring to her new house. I only heard about the details from Araldo and his father later on, but apparently my mother-in-law, as usual, did none of the work herself and made her son and husband do all the work. That's probably why she didn't realize anything, including how all of her stuff was sent to a different location to her son and husband's, until the day they were supposed to move, which is when her husband told her about the divorce and her brother came to pick her up in his car. She now lives with her brother's family in the house they grew up in. She lives in a small corner of the house and is no longer as proud as she used to be when I lived with her, it seems. As there she was just some strange relative that was living with her brother since she had nowhere else to go. At a later date, Araldo's parents got divorced with the help of a lawyer. The amount of money my mother-in-law spent that wasn't hers goes up to several tens of thousands of euros, but in the end, it was decided that there would be no property division after the divorce, and she would pay back the money she spent monthly. She had to get the money from somewhere, so she found a job and started working. Luckily, she was hired by a local company to do work. Even she, who had basically zero work experience, could do. But it seems that people in her hometown already knew about that personality of hers, as many of them knew her when they were students in school. Araldo's father says that she wasn't like this when they were younger and when they first fell in love, but the people who knew her from school, on the other hand, say that she was always the narcissistic and selfish type, and her husband was just too kind of a man to see it at first. This being the case, my ex-mother-in-law spends most of her time not working alone at home, only sometimes talking to her relatives, which were the only people that would ever talk to her.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
There you are, Aaron. It took me forever to find out your new phone number. I went through so much trouble in order to find you a decent woman to marry. I even went as far as planning an extravagant wedding for you. And then you run off and marry some random floozy. And to top it all off, you moved and changed your phone number without telling me? How could you treat me this way? I suppose you aren't entirely to blame. You never were one to stand up for yourself. I have no doubt that awful woman who you married is the one putting you up to all of this. But not to worry, Aaron. It'll be fine soon. I found your new address. I'll be over there soon, and with me there to back you up, I'm sure together we can sort that harpy out. I'm just about to get in my car, so I should be there in no time. It's clear that woman wasn't given a proper upbringing, so I'll have to fix her mother's mistakes. I'll have her whipped into shape before the month's end, Aaron. Mark my words.
Mom? What the hell is going on here?
Ah, I see you finally noticed my message. I was wondering, when would you reply? It had been almost 2 hours. I was starting to worry that woman had taken your phone from you, but since you seem to be fine, I suppose you were simply too overwhelmed with joy at the thought of your mother coming to rescue you from your misery that you were at a loss for words.
I was in a meeting, at my job. I didn't have time to check my phone until now, and I just saw your messages. And in any case I wasn't clear before, you were the last person I wanted to hear from. I told you, Mom, I'm cutting you out of my life. Got it? Now go back home.
Oh, my dear sweet Aaron, it's absolutely terrifying the grip that awful woman has on you. Ugh, I get shivers whenever I hear her name. Charity. Bleh. But as I said before, Aaron, you don't need to be afraid of her anymore. I've managed to track down your new address. There's nothing she can do to keep me from you now. I'll get right to work on fixing her up as soon as I get to your house, so don't you worry about a thing. You just focus on your work and leave all the dirty work to your dear mother.
Mom, I've told you this more times than I can remember, but Charity is my wife. She's wonderful to me. I love her, and you don't need to fix anything about her. Go home. You are not welcome at our house, and you never will be, so do not come. Do I make myself clear?
I've just turned onto your street, Aaron, to be there shortly.
Oh, for the love of God! Charity? It's me. Listen, this is very important. I need you to lock all the doors and windows and do not open them for anyone, okay? I mean it. Charity? Do not open them for anyone except me. No matter what they say, keep the doors locked. Pretend you aren't home.
Aaron, what's going on? You're scaring me.
It's my mom. I don't know how, but she managed to find our new address.
What?
She just messaged me a minute ago saying that she was on our street, so she'll probably be there soon. Do you hear anything outside?
Well, actually, I just got to my client's office a little while ago. I have a meeting with them in a little bit, so yeah, I'm not at home right now and won't be for a while.
Really? Oh yeah, you did mention that earlier.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not home at the moment, so you don't need to worry about me letting her in. When she sees that no one's there, she's gonna turn around and go back home, right?
Just in case, I think we'd better book a room at a hotel for tonight. Do you have your valuables on you?
Yeah, I carry around whatever is carryable. Just like you said, anything that's too big to fit in my bag I left at my parents' house.
Okay. Sounds like we're in the clear for now. Anyway, thanks. I guess the next order of business is to find a new apartment as soon as possible. Man, it's time like this that make me really happy that we're both fortunate enough to get jobs that let us work from home.
Yeah, for real. If we were working at a regular company, it would be a lot harder for us to up and move to a different place in an emergency. Imagine if you had to keep living there even after your mom found us.
Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. And Charity, I'm really sorry that my mom is causing so much trouble for us.
Aaron, I keep telling you, you don't need to apologize for anything. I knew exactly what I was getting into when I married you, and I said yes, didn't I?
Yeah, you sure did. Thanks, Charity. Okay, well, I'm gonna get us a hotel room. I'll message you again once I make the reservation.
Okay, no rush. Gonna go talk to my client now. Bye. What is it with this city? Every single street looks exactly the same. I feel like I've been going in circles for the last half an hour. Whatever made you think it would be a good idea to move to this god-forsaken place? But not to worry. I finally found your place, Aaron. Isn't this exciting? We're about to embark on a new journey as a family, just the two of us, and that awful wife of yours who we'll be reforming. We'll give her all the tough love she needs to straighten her out, and if she resists, then you'll divorce her immediately. Ah, and you don't need to worry about being lonely when she's gone. I've already got the perfect woman lined up for you to marry. She's just like your dear old mother. Aaron, what is the meaning of all this? You never told me Charity was pregnant, and she looks like she could give birth any second now. That awful little brat tried to stop me from coming in the house, so I gave her a bit of a smack. Out of love, of course. Spare the rod and spoil the child. She's going to have to get used to a new way of life, and it's better she does than sooner than later. But in any case, your apartment really is something else. Aaron, it's gorgeous. I feel like I could fit my whole house inside the living room. There should be more than enough space for me to put my things. So tell me, Aaron, what about time were you planning on being home tonight? I'm having Charity make me a bite to eat for lunch right now, since I thought it would be a good plan to start her cooking training right away. So if you have any requests for dinner, let me know and I'll have her start working on it just as she finishes making my lunch. Anything you want, dear, just name it.
Mom? Hold on. Back up 1 second. You're already at our apartment? Exactly when did you get there?
A few moments ago, dear. I told you I would find you, didn't I? Seriously, though, imagine my shock when I find out that I would become a grandmother in less than a month. Granted, I do have my share of issues with the child maternal lineage, but not to worry, I'm an expert in discipline, so I'll have any of his mother's traits wiped out of him by the time he enters elementary school.
Wait. Child?
Yes, my grandchild. And since I'll be living with the two of you, I'll always be there to ensure that awful wife of yours doesn't have too much of a negative influence.
Mom? Charity isn't pregnant.
What are you talking about?
Also, Charity isn't at home either. She's with me right now.
That's impossible. She's in the kitchen right now.
When I found out you were coming, I booked us a room at a hotel for the night to keep from having to deal with you. We're both at the station right now. She just got off her train, and we're about to head to the hotel.
How many times do I have to tell you she's right here? She's making my lunch as we speak. She can't be with you.
I have no idea what's going on right now, but... Mom, please don't tell me that you just barged into the apartment and started acting like you own the place.
What's wrong with that? It's your apartment. So since I'm your mother, I do own the place in a way, a fact which that awful woman seemed not to understand. Where did she get off threatening to call the police on me? It seems as though I have my work cut out for me straightening her up. It's dreadful that she doesn't even give me the proper respect to the mother of the man who's financing her selfish, greedy lifestyle.
I'm not financing anything, Mom. We both work. And that's completely besides the point. Mom, I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to say.
What is it, dear?
The apartment you're in right now is not ours. You stormed into the wrong apartment.
Nonsense.
Listen, Mom, Charity is with me. She's standing right beside me. And she's not 9 months pregnant. She's not even 1 month pregnant. She's not pregnant at all. And our apartment is not that big. It's a studio apartment. There's barely enough room for us, much less you and all of your stuff.
You're not making any sense.
Let me ask you something. What makes you think the address you're at right now is our address? How did you find it?
Oh well, a friend of mine who lives near you said they saw you moving your bags into this apartment, so they told me the address.
That's odd. When did this happen, exactly?
Well, I suppose it's been out 6 months or so. So I started planning out my re-education plan for your awful wife and saving up money for the move. And once everything was settled, I headed over there right away.
Oh, okay. I think I get what happened now.
What is it? What happened?
The place you're at right now is about 10 minutes away from a big shopping mall down the road from an elementary school, right?
Yes, why?
You said it was 6 months ago, so that would put it roughly 3 months after I formally cut you out of my life. That apartment belonged to a friend of mine from college. He and his wife were living there. They were kind enough to let us stay there for 2 weeks while we got an apartment sorted out.
2 weeks?
Yeah. The residents of the apartment we were moving into still had 2 weeks left on their lease, so we just had to wait until they were all moved out. So, yeah, it wasn't a permanent living arrangement. We were only there for a short time.
So, the woman in the kitchen right now isn't your wife, it's your friend's wife? Oh my goodness gracious! Do be a dear and call them to explain the situation. I'm sure they'll understand it's coming from you.
I'm not finished. My friends moved out of that apartment months ago.
What? Oh no, Aaron, this is terrible. The woman here, she called her husband and he just came home. He started yelling at me and I was so terrified that I ran and locked myself in their bathroom. What should I do now? Help me!
So, as I was saying, the people living in the apartment that you just barged into, they're not us. They're not my friends. They're not my friends' friends. I have no idea who they are.
That can't be.
To summarize, you just barged into someone's apartment, assaulted a 9 months pregnant woman, and are now locked in their bathroom and refusing to leave. In the business, that's what they call trespassing?
That wasn't my intention at all.
Well, intentional or not, once the police get there, I think you're looking at a mandatory ride to the station.
Police?
My wife? As in my real wife, and not the woman who you just assaulted because you thought she was my wife? Just got off the phone with the local police department and explained the situation.
Oh no! Oh no! What should I do now?
What choice do you have? Explain yourself and apologize, and maybe they won't press charges.
Apologize? Why should I have to do that?
Well, in this case, I would say the most pertinent reason is because you slapped a pregnant woman and forced her to make you lunch for the trouble?
But it was an honest mistake.
I don't believe this. Are you for real? You've met Charity so many times, yet you still managed to forget what she looked like and confuse her with some random stranger?
Well...
And I mean, it's not like you forgot her name. At any point in your escapades today, did you think even just once to address her by name? That would have saved you a lot of trouble, I think.
But that's... It was obviously her. She had the key to your apartment and everything. Well, the apartment I thought was yours, so when I saw her open the door and go in, I knew it had to be her.
Oh, and one other thing. Even after I got married and told you, repeatedly, that I don't need or want you to find a wife for me, you went ahead with your plans anyway, didn't you? What kind of inconsiderate, unthinking, oblivious moron are you? My God in heaven. When your husband divorces you, and your only son disowns you, I'd say most people would stop and think, gee, maybe I'm the problem here. But not you!
Aaron?
Whatever. I'm done with you. Enjoy prison, you psychopath.
Aaron, I can't believe you. You're my son. I'm your mother. You have to help me. Hurry up and do something. You can't speak to me that way. Aaron, pick up this instant.
My mom was taken into custody by the local police, and, after consulting with the poor people she barged in on, she was charged with trespassing, assault and battery, and a few other crimes. She evaded prison time due to her age, but now she had to deal with the inconveniences of having a criminal record. While she was busy dealing with the fallout of her trial and conviction, I talked with Charity's parents, and as of today, I have officially changed my name and no longer have any connections, legal or otherwise, to my mother. It hit her pretty hard when she heard the news through the grapevine. Fortunately, she had never visited my in-laws' house and has no way of finding out where they live, so I don't think we'll be hearing from her ever again. But, just in case, I went ahead and got a legal restraining order against her. As for what she's doing now, my aunt told me that she had holed herself up in her house for days after she got back from the police station. She got fired from her job, and now she has to deal with finding new work with a criminal record to her name in order to pay off the damages she owes to that couple. Oh, and speaking of them, they called the other day and said she had given birth to a healthy baby boy. I'm really happy for them. I have a feeling that child will grow up in a much better environment than I did.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.